Leaning, leaning, safe and secure from all alarms. Leaning, leaning, leaning on the everlasting arms. Oh, hi, didn't see that. Sorry, just singing one of my little favorite tunes here. Welcome to Trade Pastors Saturday Reviews. I believe this is episode, I totally forgot what episode this is. I'll put it on the title there. But I have a movie to review, and also this is for the Horoscope 101 channel, which I still post my reviews that I do on my regular channel on there as well. Now, the movie that I'm reviewing is a Criterion movie that I actually bought, I think, last week. Yeah, last week. I did it last week. And usually, like I said, it's Trade Pastors Saturday Horror Reviews. And when I read the description of this movie, because I did hear about this movie before, I bought it, people, good things about it. But, I was reading the description back here, and they said this movie was a horror movie. And I didn't think, that it was before I, saw it. But now after I watched this, I agree with the assessment of this, the description about this. This is basically a horror movie with qualities of a grim fairy tale. Okay, and the movie I'm talking about is The Night of the Hunter, starring Robert Mitchum, Shelley Winters. This is the only movie that was directed by, of course, the famous actor Charles Laughton. Okay, and I think he had read the book, and then he had, acquired the rights, and and he directed this. But Night of the Hunter came out in let me see, what year was that? 1955, yeah. Okay, it's filmed in black and white. It's basically the story about a religious fanatic, played by Robert Mitchum. Probably one of his most terrifying role, Harry Powell, who basically is this religious preacher character that he goes around, and basically he goes around marrying widows and basically murdering them for their money. And there's a great opening scene in the beginning of the movie, actually, where you see a bunch of kids playing hide and go seek, and they discover a body, a woman's body, like sticking out of I guess you call it a cellar. Yeah, with the doors open, you see her leg. All you see is her legs twisted in a horrible fashion, and the kids just gather around. And then, of course, you see a nice shot of Robert Mitchum's character, Harry Powell, driving off. And he actually has a conversation with God, basically saying that God is steering him towards these women, these widows, for him to rob, murder and take their money. And it's, a bizarre and a fantastic conversation. And it basically gives you some insight into Robert Mitchum's character. And also, further on, you see him basically in a burlesque show, and that's where you see the famous hate and love, writing that he has on his hands. And of course, he explains what that means in the movie, which I don't want to spoil. But you get a good sense of who his character is, again, when he's in that burlesque show, with all the other men watching this, stripper do her things. And his reactions in that scene, I absolutely love his reaction in that scene. It's just fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And anyway, he gets busted and gets sent to prison, basically for stealing the car that he drove there to, with for car theft. And he has, I think, spent 6 months or something in this little lockup there. But while he's there, he actually meets a gentleman played by Peter Graves, Mission Impossible guy, Peter Graves. He's only in this movie, really. His name is Ben Harper, and basically you see a scene of him earlier where he pulls up fast to his house, and he has a young son and daughter there, and he basically tells them, listen, I want you to hide this money. The cops are going to come get me. I want you to hide this money and promise that you'll never tell anybody where this is, not even your mother. Okay? And sure enough, the cops come and get him, and they send him to prison. And you assume, like I said, that the kids, hid the money somewhere, because they don't actually show you where it is, where they hid it, but you assume that is. And basically, you have Peter Graves' character and Robert Mitchum's character. They're in the same prison. And of course, Robert Mitchum's character still, Harry Powell still doing that bizarre, preacher thing. and he's basically trying to get him to admit where the money is. And of course, before he gets hung, because actually, his character, Peter Gray's character, Ben Harper, he actually murdered. I think they said 2 guards he murdered. Anyway, so he's about to be hanged, but he never really reveals it. Okay, so of course, Harry decides to take that opportunity to go visit the new widow. Okay, and basically that's the thrust of the movie, of him, meeting Shelley Winter's character. She's the recently widowed because her husband got hung, and she has her 2 kids. The young boy and the young girl, and she's basically trying to. Billy Chapin plays John Harper, the older boy, and you have Sally Jane Bruce, who plays Pearl Harper. And they're the 2 kids, and of course Pearl kind of takes a shine to Harry Powell's character, but of course the older boy, he's not having any of it. He's wary of him and what he represents and stuff. And you can tell Harry with the smooth tongue, preacher's tongue, he moves right in there and basically sweeps her off her feet. The young widow played by Shelley Winters, and of course they get married. Of course, but his ulterior motive is to basically try to find out where that $10,000 is. Okay, and he thinks that the kids maybe know where it is. And Robert Mitchum in this film is, first of all, this film is filmed in black and white, which definitely adds to it's a great atmosphere in this movie. Like I said, it takes place in the South, and you see those big landscapes and stuff, and the black and white definitely adds to the film, and this makes it and Robert Mitchum is, like I said, he is scary. He's scary and charismatic at the same time, and he is just one of the great all-time villains of all time. Just scary and menacing, and like I said, charming at one end. Charming to the people, like in public and stuff, and religious and pious, but behind doors, he's like I say, it's no way to say it, he's a killer, literally. And like I said, this movie is basically the thrust of these 2 kids basically trying to get away from him, and him trying to find out where the money is. And it's just a great thriller, and it is a horror movie. It literally is a horror movie, because you see these kids, and that's what I guess it's the night of the hunter. This guy literally hunts these kids looking for that money, trying to find out where that money is, of course. And it's just a fantastic movie. Also, Lillian Gish is in this movie. Her character comes into the movie later in the movie. I don't want to spoil her character, what her character is, but she does play a pivotal part in this movie. And oh my God! And see, and even this picture. Looking at this picture now, it's just, especially after seeing the movie, it's even more creepier. That picture of Robert Mitchum holding his young stepdaughter there. It's just, and he's like I said, Robert Mitchum is just menacing and scary at the same time, and charismatic, and just, oh my God. And there's another scene that I don't want to spoil, but it involves Shelley Winters, and I'll just leave it at that. Okay, just the way it was shot, it's just absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. And it is a shame that Charles Laughton only directed this one movie. Okay, but I think, I was reading on looking at some of the behind the scenes stuff, I think he was just getting ready to get cancer, so I think that's probably played a large part in why he didn't direct any other movie. But this movie is just intense, and what a movie. And like I said, it's only 93 minutes, but it's intense, and Robert Mitchum is one scary dude, and just one of the all-time classic villains. And I like the young dude that played the son, Billy Chapin, who played John Harper. I thought he was really good. The young girl, his sister played sister. She was okay, but a little stiff. But the young actor that played their son, he was John Harper. I think that's the name, right? John Harper, their son, Billy Chapin. Yeah, John Harper. I thought he was really, really good, because he basically has to basically kind of carry the movie with him and his sister on the run from this scary Robert Mitchum, who's like just unrelenting force of evil and just intense. I would give Night of the Hunter an 8.5. Just nearly perfect to me. 8.5. I'm so glad I bought this movie. It's one of the best movies I've seen, and Like I said, Robert Mitchum, I can't say this more than enough. Robert Mitchum is freaking scary. Okay? I can turn on the charm and then be absolutely, you know, a psychopath in the next turn. Just, and the fact that he's basically hunting kids makes it even more scary, if that's possible. Okay, so let me know what you think. If you've seen Night of the Hunter, what do you think of it? Okay, feel free to leave comments down below. And if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button down below. And this is Trey Passer for Trey Passer Saturday Horror Reviews, and also for Horoscope 101 channel, saying so long and take care.